George Orwell said that in an age of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. I would posit to you today, ladies and gentlemen, that we are in an age of universal deceit, where telling the truth has indeed become a revolutionary act. I'm going to tell you about what's going on here in New York State, but this is not unique to New York State. It's not unique to blue states. It's going on all over the country, and it's going on all over the world. Okay? Any dissent from an increasingly aggressive government that is seeking power is looked at as treasonous, and you're labeled an extremist. And here in New York, indeed, we are labeled violent extremists, and we have done nothing except tell the truth and defy unconstitutional law. We haven't lined up with guns, we haven't threatened anybody, we haven't done anything like that, and yet we are treated as if we are. Yesterday, or over the weekend, the New York Revolution Group, which is not revolutionary in the sense of violent revolution at all, held an event in which New York Assemblyman from the 102nd District, Pete Lopez, came. And Pete Lopez said, I will put a link in the description of this video to that video. Pete Lopez said that he was warned not to come to this group, that the New York Revolution Group was violent extremists, and they were radicals, and there were going to be arrests. They're outlaws. Let me tell you something, folks. I know a lot of people from the New York Revolution Group, and every single one of them that I have met has been a gentleman or gentlewoman, have been exceptional people. And it's not just the New York Revolution Group. It's the NY2A Grassroots. It's the Oath Keepers. It's Scope. There's groups all over the country who oppose the SAFE Act, who oppose the agenda of increased government control of everything, not just on a federal level, but here on a state level for Governor Cuomo. And I'm here to tell you, folks, the state is seeking reasons to come and put us in jail. And under the NDAA, we can easily, if somebody labels us terrorists, be taken away with no due process and just stuck in a hole somewhere. This is a time of universal deceit. And the only thing that we are guilty of is shining the light of the truth onto the lies that are being told in this state and across this country. And it is frustrating to me. It's frustrating that a New York Assemblyman would be warned, don't go near that group. Don't go near that group, those violent extremists. You know, the sad thing is Governor Cuomo made it very clear that if you have a differing viewpoint than him on any one of several different areas, then you are an extremist and you don't belong in New York. And this is sad coming from the so-called party of tolerance that has no tolerance for viewpoints other than their own. There was a memo that was leaked. It wasn't supposed to get out, but it was leaked, in which the New York State law enforcement was warned to watch out for groups like the groups that I mentioned, because we hold wild anti-government views, and we hate the police, and we want to launch into violent attacks on the police. This is garbage. It's nonsense. Nobody supports the police more than we do. Nobody supports law enforcement more than we do. Nobody supports the rule of law more than the groups that I mentioned and the groups that I stand shoulder to shoulder with. But what they're trying to do is those really on the uppermost level of this state are trying to drive a wedge between law enforcement, because currently law enforcement will not enforce the garbage laws that they're putting forth. And it's not true. We are not a danger to anybody. And you really need to watch this video with Pete Lopez and get the word out of what insanity is going on, because it isn't just going on here in New York State. You know, we have no rule of law anywhere. And when you speak of the rule of law, you are a revolutionary, a violent extremist. And that's a culture that we cannot be a part of and we cannot accept any longer here in this country. We are on a razor's edge, and we need to put a stop to this now and restore some sanity into our government officials. I don't know how to do that, but I know that just throwing out name-calling and calling everybody who opposes your viewpoint as extremists and violent and dangerous so you can lock them up and limit their free speech and try to take away their Second Amendment rights is nonsense. I know this is a little bit longer video than I normally do, a little more cerebral than my usual stuff, but please take some time to think about this. Watch that video with Representative Assemblyman Pete Lopez, and spread the word, please. Whether you share this video, share the other video, that just get the word out of what is going on here and how we in the gun community and we who support freedom and support not just the Second Amendment but all our God-given rights, how we are viewed. And this is not just conspiracy how we think we're viewed. We have documents to prove that's how they view us. We aren't dangerous to anybody. I'm not violent to anybody. I've never been violent to anybody in any time in my life. And yet I am labeled by my government a violent, dangerous extremist. I'm Van Prepper, just giving you a little bit of something to think about. As always, happy shooting, everybody.